You know when something feels off, but you can't quite put your finger on it? That was me 3 months ago. My wife, Amelia, had recently gotten into this fitness kick. Meal prepping, early morning jogs, counting macros, the whole deal. She even started following this online fitness blogger, Derek Knight, a guy with a jaw chiseled out of granite and abs that looked like they'd been photoshopped in real life. I joked about it at first. "Got a new crush?" I'd say, smirking as she watched his 30-minute blast videos in the living room. She'd laugh it off. "Don't be silly, Ben. He's just motivating." Yeah, motivating. Amelia and I had been married for 6 years. We were solid. Or so I thought. We didn't fight much, we split chores. We had good friends and even better wine nights. Sex wasn't fireworks all the time anymore, but it was still real. Comfortable. Familiar. And maybe that was the first red flag. Comfortable. The weirdness started when she joined Derek's in-person boot camp. Once a week became 3 times. She'd come back flushed, glowing, saying things like, "You wouldn't believe how hard he pushes us," or, "He really makes you want to do better." At first, I chalked it up to post-workout endorphins. Good for her, right? Until that one Thursday. I came home early from work. Meetings had been canceled, and I figured I'd surprise her with takeout from her favorite Thai place. When I walked into the house, it was empty. Her car was gone. No big deal. I assumed she was still at boot camp. But something pulled at me, a nagging itch at the base of my spine. I set the food on the kitchen counter, and on impulse, opened her laptop. I know. Invasions of privacy, all that. But I didn't mean to snoop. Not really. The screen lit up to an open tab, her messages. And at the top was a thread with Derek K. The latest message from him read, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Bring that blue sports bra, you know the one." My stomach flipped. I shouldn't have clicked. But I did. The messages weren't graphic. Not exactly. But the tone was there. Suggestive. Flirtatious. And the history stretched back weeks. Late-night chats about life goals, teasing comments about her squats, emojis that said more than the words ever could. I scrolled until I hit one that made my breath catch. "It's crazy how easy it is with you. Like I've known you forever. I wish I didn't have to sneak around." Sneak. I sat there, staring at the screen, the pad thai getting cold behind me. That's when I heard the door. Amelia walked in, towel slung around her shoulders, hair damp, face still flushed from exertion. She looked happy. Radiant even. "Hey, babe! You're home early." I closed the laptop. She froze mid-step. "Something wrong?" I smiled. Not because I was okay, but because I didn't know what else to do. "Nope," I said. "Just thought I'd surprise you." We ate in silence. She asked about my day. I asked about her workout. She didn't mention Derek. Not once. That night, I couldn't sleep. She curled up next to me like everything was normal. She even kissed my shoulder. I stared at the ceiling, her words to him echoing in my head. "I wish I didn't have to sneak around." The next morning, I told her I had a work trip. 3 days in Seattle, a made-up conference. She barely blinked. "You'll be back by Sunday, right? I have something special planned for us." I nodded. "Of course." Instead, I stayed local. Checked into a cheap motel on the edge of town. I spent those days driving by the gym, waiting, watching. And on Saturday morning, I saw it. Her car parked outside. A few minutes later, she came out, laughing, sweaty, her arm brushing Derek's as they walked to his Jeep. He leaned in. She didn't flinch. She smiled. She let him tuck her hair behind her ear. Then they got in and drove off. I followed. My hands trembled on the steering wheel the entire way. I didn't follow them far. Derek lived in one of those upscale apartment buildings that advertised urban luxury, with a smoothie bar in the lobby and valet trash service. His Jeep disappeared into the underground garage, and I pulled into a side street, parking behind a landscaping van that blocked my view but gave me cover. I sat there, engine off, hand gripping the steering wheel like it could anchor me. She hadn't even hesitated. That was the part that cut deepest. No glance over her shoulder. No guilt in her eyes. Just laughter. That same laugh she used to reserve for me when we'd lie on the couch, half watching dumb sitcoms and tracing shapes on each other's arms. I waited. Nearly 2 hours passed. I imagined leaving, driving straight to the ocean and just floating. But around hour 3, the front doors opened. She stepped out first, wearing different clothes. Her ponytail was messier now, lips a little more flushed. Behind her, Derek trailed out, grinning like a man who knew exactly what he had taken and didn't care who it belonged to. He didn't even look around. Arrogant. She got in her car. He turned back inside. I didn't follow her this time. I couldn't. I just sat there and stared at the building's glass doors until they stopped reflecting the sun and started reflecting my headlights. The next morning, I packed a bag. I didn't tell her. I couldn't trust myself to say the right thing, or anything that wouldn't end in shouting. Instead, I left a note on the kitchen counter. I know. I stayed at a friend's house for a few days, Matt, an old college buddy who didn't ask questions. Just offered his guest room and a bottle of scotch, like that was enough to patch the hole in my chest. She texted the first night. "Where are you?" The second night, "Ben, please, come home." I didn't reply. The third morning, she called. I let it ring. She left a voicemail. Her voice cracked halfway through. "I know what this is about. I know I messed up. Please, can we talk?" That word again. Talk. Like that would fix it. But I drove home anyway. When I walked in, she was sitting at the kitchen table, staring at her hands. She looked smaller than I remembered. Maybe it was the silence, or the weight of everything hanging in the air. "Ben," she said, standing. "Please, sit down," I said. My voice surprised me, cold, level. Not mine, but someone I didn't mind being just then. Saturday. "I followed you. Saturday. After the gym." Her lips parted, but I held up a hand. Don't lie." She closed her mouth slowly. A tear slid down her cheek. "I didn't plan it. Not at first. He was just easy to talk to. And things with us, they've been, don't say complicated," I snapped. "Don't insult both of us. I was lonely, Ben." "Lonely?" I laughed, bitter. "You were never alone. I mean inside, okay? You stopped seeing me. You stopped trying." I stared at her. "And that's why you slept with him? Because I didn't ask how your protein shake tasted?" She winced. "You think this is easy for me? You think I'm proud of it? No. I think you're just sorry you got caught." Her silence answered for her. I stood, grabbing the bag I had dropped when I walked in. "I'll stay with Matt a while longer. I need space." "And then what?" "I don't know. Depends on whether I can stand the sight of you after this." As I opened the door, she whispered, "I love you." I stopped, turned slightly. "You don't get to say that right now." Then I walked out. Weeks passed. Matt never pushed me to talk, though I knew he was dying to. Instead, he offered his couch, his beer, and once, an awkward pat on the back that ended with us watching reruns of old action movies like we were still 20. But I wasn't 20 anymore. I wasn't just heartbroken. I was hollow. Amelia called less often. Her last message came on a Thursday evening. I understand you need time, but I'm still here. I still love you. I deleted it without listening to the rest. But the silence didn't give me peace. It just gave me space to feel everything. I kept replaying it all. The messages. Her laugh. The way she walked out of his apartment with no shame, like it was just another gym session. And I started to wonder, was this really the first time? Or just the first time I caught her? When I finally returned to the house, it wasn't to reconcile. I just needed clothes. A book I'd been meaning to finish. Something to make the silence feel less deafening. But when I stepped inside, it hit me, Amelia was gone. I mean, not completely. Her shoes were still by the door. Some of her clothes in the closet. But it was like she ghosted her own life. I found a note taped to the fridge. Ben, I'll stay at my sister's. I don't want you to feel pressured. I'm sorry, and I mean that more than anything. When you're ready to talk, I'll be here. But I won't beg. I hurt you, and I need to live with that. I love you. I should have felt relief. Maybe I did, under all the noise. But mostly, I felt sad. Because I believed her when she said she loved me. And I also believed she didn't know how to love me right. The next few days were quiet. Too quiet. I kept expecting her perfume in the bathroom, her humming in the kitchen. But all that remained was the echo of what used to be. I kept thinking, what if I had been more present? What if I had seen the cracks sooner? Could I have stopped it? Maybe. But maybe love isn't just about showing up. Maybe it's about choosing the person even when it's hard. And she didn't choose me. She chose the thrill, the ego stroke, the six-pack smiles and post-workout. Deep talks. I got the divorce papers a week later. I hadn't asked for them. She filed. I stared at the envelope for hours before opening it. When I did, it came with a letter. Not legal, not formal. Just her handwriting on plain white paper. I can't undo what I did. And I won't ask you to stay in something that hurts. You always deserved someone who wouldn't need a reason to be loyal. I hope you find that. Maybe someday you'll forgive me. Maybe not. But I wanted to give you the freedom to heal, even if it meant losing you forever. I didn't cry, but I didn't sleep that night either. I signed the papers, sent them back, and I didn't leave a note. What else was there to say? Months later, I still sometimes pass that gym. Sometimes I wonder if she still goes. If she ever looks up from a yoga mat and remembers me, remembers us. Maybe she does, but I've stopped looking back. I joined a different gym. I started therapy. I bought a new set of dishes because I couldn't look at the old ones without thinking about candlelit dinners and shared laughs over stir-fry. And one night, at a new coffee shop across town, I met someone. We talked about books, not burpees. She didn't have abs like a fitness model. But she had this way of listening, really listening. It'll be a while before I open up again. But this time, I'll make sure it's with someone who doesn't need motivation to stay faithful.